Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. Guess what? I'm sitting over here with the miserable liberal. Hey, Steph, how are you?
I'm miserable.
Guess what? Rod Placone has a great story about net neutrality, and he's going to take it away. Ron, go ahead.
Howdy. Thanks so much, Jimmy. So net neutrality is back in the news. I know a lot of you guys that watch the show, you know what net neutrality is already. Net neutrality basically assures a free and open internet. It does not allow cable companies to prioritize fast lanes and slow lanes. It does not let them charge more for certain types of service, and it does not let them further monopolize the net. It's back in the news because Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google joined the clash over net neutrality. This is from The Street, written by Chris Noelter. So as a deadline approaches for comments on new rules for how the government regulates internet service, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Alphabet Inc.'s Google are joining an online day of action to rally support for net neutrality.
Wait a minute. They want net neutrality?
You're
telling me Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Facebook, what they want net neutrality?
Some unlikely allies, perhaps, but yeah, they want net neutrality, I think because their business model really thrives on it.
Wow.
So,
okay, I can see Netflix, but Google, okay, so go ahead. why would Google? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering that too. Maybe these are unlikely allies. In fact, they are.
Yeah.
But, as far as this fight goes, we'll take them.
Yeah, I'll take them. If they're really for, I hope they're not like how the Democrats say they're for single payer. I hope it's not one of those things like, no, dudes, we're totally for net neutrality.
And, I just want to point out that anytime you see something that says regulations, people are like, oh, they cringe. I want you to think about it as protections.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we're trying to do here at the Jimmy Dore. So when people say, oh, you have environmental regulations, no, they're environmental protections. Oh, you have too many workplace regulations. No, they're workplace protections. So I think it's important to use those words. And this is a protection. This is an internet protection.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when people are like, oh, well, net neutrality. No, net neutrality just assures that the internet is a broad, like a Title II classification, which means it runs like flowing water. It runs like a telephone. Like when you call the White House, or if I call Jimmy or Jimmy calls me, it's all treated with the same amount of traffic. Phone calls don't get prioritized. This assures that via the net.
That's a good analogy. Way to go.
So here's the thing. AGPs and who is the FCC commissioner, they want to gut net neutrality, and what they want to see happen is they want cable companies to vow, just out of their own moral goodwill, that they'll protect net neutrality. Comcast has said that they will promise to do this, but do you guys really trust Comcast?
No.
Right. Comcast, the company that has been voted notoriously to be the worst company in the country, that has contractors install your service just because they were looking for another way to tell the consumer, fuck you. Do you really trust them? Whenever somebody says, hey, Ron, is capitalism really out of control in the United States? You say, we're counting on Comcast to make the right moral judgment. That's all you need to answer.
I'm counting on Comcast and Walmart to make sure.
They got our best interest at heart. They're going to look out for us. So that's what's going on. The FCC wants to destroy net neutrality and give big cable companies control over what we see and do online. The group Battle for the Net states on its website, if they get their way, they'll allow widespread throttling, blocking, censorship, and extra fees. That's what's at stake here. It's not just content creators like us that have a lot to lose in this. It's you, the general consumer, because the net could look like cable television 2.0 if we lose net neutrality. FCC Chairman Ajit Pai wants to undo Obama administration policies through a new set of rules he dubs Restoring Internet Freedom, which is PR bullshit.
How Orwellian is that?
Yeah.
Right? You're actually making it less free and fair. Mm-hmm. You are turning it over to oligarchs.
Absolutely. The deadline for comment on Pai's rules is Monday, July 17th. People can file reply comments that respond to issues addressed in the first round of comments until August 16th. Keep in mind, the first time we had this fight, part of the reason we got what we wanted is because people commented so much they crashed the FCC website. At the 11th hour, Obama did do the right thing, and Tom Wheeler classified the internet as a Title II. Pi says the government should move back to the light touch regulatory framework that the Clinton administration put in place during the 1990s. Yeah, you remember that legislation, the Telecommunications Act of 1996, the thing that gutted the broadcasting industry, destroyed the jobs, and gave us shitty rap metal and Nickelback? Oh, those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Thanks, Agent Pi. Well put, buddy. Well put.
Boy, if there's I can't think of one bad thing that came about from the 90s deregulation. Can you think of anything? I mean, sure, they crashed our economy completely. But other than that, I mean, what is dereg? Oh, yeah, it took 50 media companies. We used to have 50 giant media companies in the United States. Thanks to Bill Clinton, we now have 6. So every newspaper, magazine, television show, radio station is owned by one of 6 companies. So there is no competition, and what capitalism needs is competition. And so what capitalism also does when left unregulated is eat itself, meaning it becomes one big company, which is why you're supposed to enforce antitrust regulation, meaning you break up monopolies, which is what we have right now. So we have communication monopolies, we have telecom monopolies. We have the appearance of choice, right? You have 6 companies bringing you 1,000 shows. Look, you got choice. No, it's the same 6 motherfuckers who want the exact same thing. Go ahead.
Well, I also want to highlight where it says light touch regulatory framework.
Right.
Again, it's light touch protection framework.
Right. That's very...
I don't want a light touch protection.
Light touch protect. We don't want any protections. There's a few of them. So go ahead, Ron.
Exactly, because if it was called protection, it'd be like, no, I want some heavy-ass protection.
Yes.
I want my internet protected
Yes.
as hell. Absolutely. So America's internet economy, this is getting back to Pi's quote here. America's internet economy produced the world's most successful online companies, Google, Facebook, and Netflix, just to name a few. The people that are rallying to protect net neutrality, because it's because of a free and open internet, they're able to flourish. And it looks like, at least on the surface, that they realize that. Again, unlikely allies, but hopefully we can count on them. Former FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler reclassified broadband service under Title II of the Communications Act after a lot of pressure from the public. Let's not forget he was a lobbyist. Again, we'll take what we can get, but we're still on the front lines of this fight, folks, which treats internet service more akin to a traditional telecom or utility service, like phone calls, running water, the examples we gave earlier in 2015. Previously, the FCC reclassified broadband as an information service, which has less oversight. Wheeler also put forward what he called bright line rules that prohibit service providers from blocking content, throttling traffic, or setting up internet fast lanes. Of course, Asia Pi wants to get rid of all of this. So what can you do? Tomorrow, July 12th, internet-wide day of action to save net neutrality. That's when the comments are going to be real heavy. You can go on battleforthenet.com. We're going to include a link in the comments below to let your voice be heard, because it worked the first time. Hopefully it'll work again. Thoughts from my panel?
I just want people to understand, just in case you're not 100% clear, what throttling means is that if you want your internet, we all know the speeds of internet matter, right? So if you want, like if I had JimmyDoreComedy.com, which I do, and I want to have a video go up there and go fast, as say a video does on Netflix, they could start charging, hey, do you want your video to go fast? Well, we're going to charge you a premium. Well, I can't afford the premium because I'm just a small company. Well, Netflix can afford the premium. YouTube can afford the premium. So they can charge you more money. And so what that does is screw small content providers or small companies, because they won't be able. And so now we'll all be on slower internet, so people will click on our website and it'll load slower, and they'll be like, fuck this, and they'll go to a faster, which only rich corporations will be able to afford. So you see the problem, right? So now they found a way to get rid of independent voices on the internet. That's really what this is. Again, another way to get rid of independent voices and only cater to high dollar subscribers, correct?
Yeah. You wonder why people get their news from YouTube?
Yeah.
Because net neutrality helps it happen.
That's right.
Let's make sure that stays in place.
So what can we do? There's on July 12th, there's an internet-wide day of action to save net neutrality. And what can people do?
They can go to battleforthenet.com. They can sign the petition. They can go to the FCC website, fcc.gov, and leave those comments. Guys, last time it crashed the website, and that's part of the reason Tom Wheeler did what he did. So if we got to make it happen again, we will.
Okay, I say let's do it. And so
I'm all for protections.
I'm all for the net protections afforded independent content producers.